TV. My guest today, Kristina Johnson, is an occupational therapist and rehabilitation specialist who's been in the industry for over 8 years. They call it the job of living. Helping people through change, challenge and adversity is what she does. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Kirsty.
So what happens when somebody, either there's some kind of change in their life, whether it's an injury, losing an arm, a limb, a disability or a sudden illness, cancer, what's the first sort of thing that people start to go through?
The first one is denial. Avoiding it, ignoring it, it didn't happen or it's not me. I can't tell you how many people wait, like if something's going on illness-wise or health-wise, they wait. It's okay, I'm not going through this until they go. And then there's like 5 stages that happen when something significant changes their life. They go through denials at first, then anger, then bargaining, then depression, and then acceptance. And then they can get stuck in any stage in between.
Well, and I think a lot of people do. I mean,
Absolutely.
when there's people who've been going around for 10 years after having a major illness and they're still in that victim mentality. Where are they stuck?
Well, it's kind of, the victim is probably more the bargaining or the depression. It kind of depends on what's kind of...
Or the why me.
The why me.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and that's more in the bargaining.
And I heard a great thing the other day. Someone said, why not me?
That's great.
Why not me? Because that's the reality. We think that we're somehow special and then something happens. And isn't that life? Like, I don't know anyone who's got through life without something happening at some point.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that when challenges come, how do you look at it?
Yeah.
Do you look at it as an opportunity or do you look at it as why me and it becomes painful and ignoring and avoiding?
But how do we do that? Because that's, I think, a key point. A lot of people tend to see it as the why me, as the negative. And then I interview these other inspiring people who see it as an adversarial gift, as part of their purpose. It becomes a positive part of their story. But how do you get people who aren't in that space to be able to go there?
Well, I think it's different for everybody, but some of the key points, though, is when you get to the acceptance part, that's when you're in your happy place and getting you to your happy place. So I think it's you have to look and have to want to desire something more for your life. That's the first and foremost. It has to come within. And when you do, I think that's when you can start asking those questions. Or start looking at other people in your situations, because you're not alone. Although you may feel lonely, you're not alone. People have the same things going on or similar that you can relate to, see what their journeys are that can help inspire what you could be doing. That's a good way to kind of look outside yourself and get out of that self-loathing or the victim. And also ask yourself, how can I make more out of my life? And ask more questions of kind of digging deeper of how do I get to my happy place? When everything may seem like falling around, what is the happy? It comes back to that gratitude journal. You know, write things that you are happy or thankful for, because no matter how significant or challenges are holding you back, there's so many more opportunities. And look at it as challenges as an opportunity to try something new and learn something different.
So in terms of a tool, a gratitude journal, can we talk a little bit about what you'd be doing, what you'd be putting in it for those who haven't heard of that or used one?
Absolutely. A gratitude journal is simply writing down, and I say do it daily, things you're thankful for. Start in the morning when you wake up and write down 5 things you're thankful for. Start with 1 if you don't have any more than 1.
You know, I saw one the other day. It was in one of my guest book. He had written, you know, he was thankful for the fact that the weather was great. And I thought, isn't that funny that we take those things for granted? And we don't often think in terms of the really small stuff. So if you're in pain or challenge and you feel like you don't have anything going on, I think we can all find really, really small things that might not seem significant to get us grounded again.
Absolutely, and giving back. You know, you're talking about the small things, giving a smile, looking at people, holding yourself accountable to doing acts of kindness or giving back to people that are even at a different position than you are.
Well, isn't it called the helper's high? There's actually a you know, psychological name that we get a rush and we feel good when we help others.
And all the you know, the exchange that happens within you when you give and you create joy.
And getting out of yourself and your problem.
Absolutely, and giving to somebody else.
Well, and I think that that's really key. When in all of the interviews that I've had, one thing is that they all go and get support and they get involved, as you say, with community and people who've been through it.
Absolutely. Community is huge. I think that goes globally. When people are feeling alone and isolated, it's really hard to get out of your own self-chatter and your own inner dialogue, and it keeps you in a rut. So if you're able to have a support system or community around you that's uplifting, or, you know, if you're going through challenges, just if you have the internet, just type in something that can create you know, an inspiration. If you're in a wheelchair, people that are doing wheelchair athletics, if you're newly diagnosed with something, look what people are going through, because you will find that what you're going through people have, and they're willing to talk about it, and they're willing to share. Because as you've said,
Yeah.
you heal through sharing.
Yes.
And people are willing to do that and have gone through that journey or similar to that of somebody else that you can relate to.
Well, that's fantastic. I think that those are some really great tools. As always, absolute pleasure having you here chatting with us. No matter what you're going through, if you've had a challenge, an illness, something, I think that we really need to find a way to make sure we move through those 5 stages. We get to acceptance, we get to move forward and live a life full of gratitude, because there is so much to be grateful for every day. I look forward to seeing you next time on Kirsty TV. We look forward to hearing from you on Facebook, YouTube. You can find us everywhere at Kirsty TV. We'll see you soon.